Hello and welcome back. My name is Rabellaka, and this is part 5 of my Tiny Town Shell Challenge build series. So Tiny Town is a challenge that was created by Deligracy, and what I was doing was a shell challenge build for Dabney Mallory over on Twitch, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to do the Tiny Town challenge but just building every house with the same shell? So we're on to the orange house this time, and this is for Cyrus, and it is an orange rustic build, and this character is supposed to make their money doing candle making and also woodworking. So those items are actually on the lot. So first of all, I wanted to make the fence match the color orange, and this is a lot of orange and brown. Brown is actually just like a darker shade of orange. So, yeah. So for rustic, I thought that was actually pretty easy. This is actually the fastest one I did. You might notice this is not, if you've watched the rest of these, this one is not sped up as much as the other ones were, because it is a much shorter build. So for a rustic build, I figured a log cabin, and I probably would be using the things from Horse Ranch and also Outdoor Retreat. And then I also found that werewolves had a lot of decent stuff for a rustic build. Because werewolves is half industrial build, so like a lot of metals, but also a lot of things that look like they're hand-hewn items. So I got a lot of use out of the werewolves pack actually. So I have a chimney here, and if you put a chimney as well as a wood stove or fireplace on a build, then you actually get smoke coming out of the chimney, which I think is a nice touch. So I have a little chimney there. So I made a little porch, and then this one room here, I wanted it to look like it's kind of like a lean-to, like added on to the rest of the house. So I went with this orange roof. I really like the corrugated steel. It looks, well, it looks rustic. It looks old. And there's two versions of that. One has a window and one doesn't. So I went with the one without a window for most of the house. And then for that one room, I got rid of the ceiling on it so that it will have the windows that act like skylights into that room. And here I'm using the windows from the werewolves. I love that window, that kind of rough look on it. It does look sort of like it's made by hand. And even the door, there's a door that matches it. So, yeah, I really like how that ended up. And so I thought I had smoothed out the whole lot, but apparently I hadn't. So I did have to fix that partway through. And for once, I actually remembered to build this in good light during the day. Because usually I forget and end up building most of my houses at night. Which actually helps for lighting, make sure everything looks nice. But it's harder to see. So, so I was just trying to figure out the trim on this. I didn't really like the trim originally because it was showing kind of weird at the top. Like it sticks up a little bit. But then I found this one looks more orange too. I think the first one I had was too red. So, and the other thing was with this room, when you look from the inside, well, because it has no ceiling, you didn't see anything. But if you put the roof up and you look, it looked really odd because you can actually see part of the floor beside it. So I put a little half wall in there to stop that. So then you can see that it's not there. Or what you see is the half wall, not what's beyond it. So, and I did forget to actually color in that little half wall. I filled it in later on. But if you downloaded the one that's already on the gallery, it doesn't have that little half wall colored in, unfortunately. So then what I did on the inside was all the interior walls. If it's a wall that's the inside of an external wall, then it has the log cabin pattern on it. But if it's an interior wall, then it has different a different wallpaper, so it's more of a like a paneling type of a wall. Um, and again, I really, with this build challenge in general, I tried hard to have different layouts for each house. So I think I managed that, but it is a little bit hard because of the way it was designed. It's kind of a cross-shaped, and so some ways seem more intuitive than others, I guess. So, and I put some of these pillars in on the edges of the walls, like where they change. I think it just looks a little bit better than not having it there. And it did cause the fireplace to not want to be put there, but in the end it worked. And so then I was furnishing this, and I wanted to have this house is off the grid, so I wanted to have a little stove in the bedroom to keep the bedroom warm, and then in the bathroom I used the items that you can make on the table there, like so as if this person when they built their house, they actually built a lot of their stuff from scratch too, like the toilet and the tub are from the woodworking table. And then I found this archway. I really like that, but it doesn't work like as a gate, so it's just kind of decorative. But I put it there anyways, and and there will be a gate there instead. So I had actually moved the fence over from where it was originally. This was a huge corner lot, so I made it a little bit smaller so that the middle lot would have more space. And I think that made it more even. So just going through looking for some more rustic items in here, like the things that you can build. And I decided for the bed, a double bed would fill the entire room, but it's a single person living there, so they just get a single bed. And Horse Ranch was good for that, for the bed. But I also have the couch from Werewolves. It's very distressed, and it looks like it's a secondhand couch. So I like the way that looks. And even the counters in the kitchen, they're from Horse Ranch. They're all made of wood as well. So, and then I've got some candelabras for light in here, because this person also makes candles. So these aren't actually the candles that you would make at the candle making station. Those ones actually you use them and they disappear. But I did put a lot of candles in the house as well for lighting. Candles and lanterns, just to make it look more rustic. So some little planter. And then I wanted a round table in the kitchen. And I actually ended up with the chairs all equidistant apart. That just seemed more balanced. But I figured this person, they live alone. They probably wouldn't have a whole lot of guests, and if they did, they would probably spend more time outside. Later on, I'll have some stuff that's outside for it. And at first I had a little table there, but I wanted to put a piano in, so there's also from Horse Ranch, the wooden piano. And I thought that looked really nice. Kind of an orangey wood. So, a little closet. There's not a lot in this house. It is very sparsely furnished. Just because it is supposed to look very rustic, so I didn't want to have a lot of modern looking things. And even on the outside, like I didn't even have very many curtains in here. But oh, I put the hearts up on the wall there. I like that. And I found these tools here. I figured if they're doing woodworking, they would have tools up on the wall. But yeah, I figured that they would only have decorations that they made themselves, or fireflies or something like that they captured. I did find some of the fire tools, so I put those over beside both the wood stove and the fireplace. But yeah, there's a woven basket. I think that's from Growing Together, and just in general, this house is very sparsely done. So I did enjoy building this one. Like I said, this was the easiest one to make, in my opinion. It was very quick, And although there are decorations, there's not a lot of decorations. Uh, I thought that statue was a lot smaller than it was, but it ended up being really huge. And I thought about putting curtains up, but I didn't really like how most of the curtains look. So they got some wood slat um, blinds in the bedroom, but not really anything else. And then we've got a mirror here. So when I grew up, my grandparents, we were at my grandparents' house a lot. They had a mirror over the couch, and I just thought that was normal. But I don't know. That's not something that we do. But I guess a lot of places I go to, either people have a large mirror or a large painting over the couch. So I went with the little, um, the mirror, the wooden mirror over the couch, and then I have pictures as well because I couldn't fit the windows in and the mirrors. It just wasn't enough space. So, alright, so I'm getting some plants in here to finish decorating. And I also wanted to put some planter boxes because we are doing candle making as well. So one of the things you can, um, you can make candles out of is soy wax. So if you get soy plants, you could plant them in those little planters. The other thing you can use is a beehive, and I seem to have forgotten that. I don't remember putting a beehive in this build, so maybe that's something you could add if you decide to play with it. So I have some of these lights, a couple of different types of lights from Outdoor Retreat, and I'm not sure where the other ones are from. But I like the way that they looked, very rustic as well, like they were natural. So I put some outside, and I have a telescope, um, so potential death, but also something to do outside. And I put a little pond in there, um, so that you could go fishing or something or catch frogs. And there's a fire pit there with some benches. And I'm glad that they fixed the fire pits because every single time I used a fire pit before they fixed them, then the chairs around the fire pits would catch fire. And it was just frustrating having to replace the chairs all the time. So that's fixed though. It's not like that anymore. And I put a bunch of trees around here to make it seem forested, but I did have to shrink them down a little bit because they were big, and this is a small lot. So, so let's see. Oh, and I put a little grill out here as well, a little orange grill, and we have the cooler that came on the lot, and a little garbage pail, and a garbage pail inside as well. And, oh, and a mailbox, right. I only remember about halfway through to put mailboxes everywhere. So we've got a little mixing bowl, which I know that's not really off-grid, but they do have a little bit of power. They have some windmills up on the roof. And a little coffee pot as well. Now, if I wasn't uploading this, I do have a mill that I use. It's by Ice Mun Mun to make my own flour and sugar so that my Sims are more self-sufficient. But I because I was uploading that, I couldn't put it in. So that is something I would add. So, and I know that the windmills on the top of the roof are uneven, but that's okay. All right, so let's take a quick look at this. So we can look around here. Oh, and there is a bee box there. I remembered to add it later on, but I can see that it's there. I didn't add it at the time though. And in build mode, you can't tell, but there's a lot of fireflies around the pond as well. Alright, so that's the outside. And then let's go take a look on the inside of the house. So we'll come in here. So I think it looks very homey. There is a bug right now that all of the ceiling textures have this kind of a bluish cast because they've got outdoor lighting on them right now. It's a little annoying, and I'm hoping that by the time I do the tour for the next build, they've fixed that. I don't know, so that's why I'm waiting to see if that gets fixed for next week. But for now, we have the outdoor lighting on the inside, unfortunately. And that even applies to the little half wall at the top there. It also has outdoor lighting, even though it is indoors. So Not a lot of rooms in here. It really is just the living room slash kitchen, bedroom, workroom, and the washroom here. All right, and this is everything. So next week we're going to be looking at the Blue Boho House. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to click like, and if you're new here, you can click on subscribe and the little bell for notification of more videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!